Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally and today we are talking about the top 5 crazy, kooky, culty things that Jehovah's Witnesses do or don't do. In my last video was a top 10 bizarre phrases and expressions that they use that make them seem very culty, and in the comments of that someone mentioned how it would be interesting to do one on their behavior. So this is that video. Now it's not a top 10, it's only a top 5 because I really wanted to sink my teeth into this one and give it a good old Wally try. I don't really know what that means and neither do you, but that's okay because we're gonna run the intro.
Hey man, I just wanted to say, you've been looking really great lately. Oh, thanks man, I really appreciate that. Oh man, has it just been, I've been doing a lot of yoga lately. It's been helping a lot.
We've got a badass over here.
Now this one is near and dear to my fitness life because I was someone that really enjoyed mind-body connection as a Jehovah's Witness, and I found yoga to be quite soothing for my rather tortured soul. But I quickly found out that I couldn't go around telling people the glories of yoga and had to say, you know, it's meditation and Pilates, because they are very stringent when it comes to the type of stretching and exercise that you can do. Yes, Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult because they want to control what goes on inside your mind. Now, just so you have a little bit of context what they say about this, this is an article, a Watchtower from 2002, talking about do superstitions control your life? And in there's an article, yoga, just an exercise or something more? And they go and talk about some of the spiritistic undertones of yoga, this, that, and the third. We don't have to get completely into the weeds there. But at the very conclusion of the article, there is this section, not a choice for Christians. And in the last paragraph, it says the choice of what physical exercise to pursue is a personal one. Christians, however, would not allow anything, be it bodily training, eating, drinking, clothing, entertainment, or something else, to mar their relationship with Jehovah God. For those exercising simply for the sake of their health, there are many avenues available that do not involve exposure to the dangers of spiritism and occultism. By keeping clear of practices and beliefs that are rooted in false religion, we may look forward to God's blessing of a righteous new system in which we can blah, 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 blah. We don't need to go into it anymore. Anyway, there you have it. They don't want people doing yoga. Yoga was an absolute no-go. And it's a very strange thing. I know we make a lot of fun of the old, it's probably a decade old now, Tony Morris, when he was going on his rampage against the dangers of Spanx and yoga pants. But maybe what he was really, we missed the message. It wasn't about how tight the pants were. Maybe it was that they were yoga pants, and that was the real reason. They had spiritistic roots. And so he was looking at these satanic booties jiggling all around him, and he said, can't be having any more of that. With all of that weird mental illustration, I don't know why I did that when I said spiritistic booties or satanic booties. On to the next one.
Ass, 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 ass.
Oh my God, Rebecca, I love your new badge. Where'd you get that? You know, I was out in service the other day and popped into a little garage sale and I saw it and I thought, oh man, that'll be great for the ministry. There. It's for the best. It's for the best.
Yes, they have an irrational fear of getting things from yard sales or garage sales, anything secondhand, because the person that owned it beforehand might have had some sort of demonic connection. They were in touch with the spirit realm, and demons could literally live inside of objects. So therefore, if you got that object, you could now be possessed by Mr. Demon Face. Now, if you are a Gen Xer or a millennial, I know for a fact, and our Jehovah's Witness, I know for a fact there were stories that would circulate that roughly had this roadmap. Someone bought a CD or a toy or piece of furniture from a yard sale, and weird stuff started happening in their house. Windows started opening and closing. They started hearing whispers like an episode of Lost. Did they do the whispers in like the later seasons of Lost, or was that just early? I'm rewatching the show now and I'm only in season 3. I don't know why I'm saying this. Let's get back on topic. And all of this weird stuff would start happening in their house. And they would try and do stuff like, oh, we got the CD, but there was nothing. It was all this chaos was happening. So we tried to light it on fire. And my God, when we put it in the fire, it wouldn't burn. Hey, oh my God, what are we going to do? The demonic object wouldn't burn. If you were Jehovah's Witness in the 80s or 90s, you know these stories. They circulated all over the place. We all heard them because we were all taught to be in this morbid fear of demons. I mean, a crippling fear of being possessed by a demon. And what are you to do if you hear something or get a weird feeling? Shout Jehovah. So start shouting Bible scriptures and make it all go away. So you too were a terrified 10-year-old who was trying to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and shouting scriptures because you heard a weird creaky tree outside. Anyway, just as a little bit of a basis of where this comes from, this is a little bit longer of a quote, but I think it's important just to realize the language that Watchtower was using and how stories like these started circulating. And because of stories like these circulating, that's why people were so scared of getting things from garage sales and thrift stores. Me and my family, we were too poor to buy anything other than thrift stores or secondhand, so we just had to shop there anyway. Not really an option, but, that's neither here nor there. This is coming from the June 8th Awake, talking about be alert to the dangers of spiritism. Here it says, because of the demons are real and powerful, God's word repeatedly warns against involvement with them. It condemns the use of spells as in black magic or voodoo, the consulting of mediums, or persons trying to contact the dead. Those warnings are still timely. You may have observed the widespread interest in the psychic phenomenon and the occult. Many films and novels have featured the spirits, or man's efforts to exorcise or cast out demons. The use of Ouija boards or astrology for guidance is common. Communication with wicked spirits is dangerous. Reports indicate that once the demons gain influence over a person, they can do much harm, physically, mentally, and emotionally. They have harassed persons, making noises at night, causing objects to move about, fondling sex organs, and causing illness. Their voices have even driven persons to insanity. So some pretty serious stuff that Watchtower is warning people about. If you are just sleeping in your bed at night, Mr. Jeff the Demon might come and cop a feel at night. Who really knows? These guys are out here doing some wild stuff. So you can imagine Jehovah's Witness children in particular are very scared growing up hearing this type of stuff. Anyhoozles, this article goes on. It is wise also to be alert to objects in the home that are definitely associated with spiritism and to get rid of them. Recently, a young couple who had been subject to harassment by demons began studying the Bible with Jehovah's Witnesses. The lady of the home was accustomed to hearing noises and seeing figures in the house. When the Bible study would begin, a small bell would be heard ringing. Then the sound would grow louder and louder until it was impossible to study. Since the family had a history of association with spiritism, it was suggested that a search be made of objects through which the demons might gain entrance to the home. Even though this was done, the harassment continued. Then one day the husband noticed that his wife had a chain around her neck to which was attached a wedding ring that had belonged to her grandmother, who had been a spiritist. So they got into the car and drove down to the water's edge, and soon out over the water sailed the ring. What a surprise they had at the moment, for as the ring left the thrower's hand, a voice was heard crying, saying, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" until finally the ring hit the water and there was silence. Now there is peace in the home of this couple. They can study the Bible and attend Christian meetings, and all is tranquil. This illustrates that when such difficulties are being experienced, it is important to get rid of anything that has anything to do with Spiritism. So clearly this is something that Jehovah's Witnesses were very scared of. They don't talk about it so much anymore, at least it hasn't been on my radar or come up in anything that I've seen recently in the last, 20 years. But during this time, holy moly, they were always spouting and talking about demonic possession and specific objects. And so it's just a weird, quirky thing that is just such a unique thing to Jehovah's Witnesses, where they're going to a garage sale and they have to assess whether or not the home that they're in is someone that might have had a demon in their home that could get transferred to them. Anyway, very weird stuff, but let's move on to number 3.
You got any big plans for Christmas? Not really, no. Oh, okay, right on. Sometimes we just like to keep it low key. Nothing wrong with that. All right, well, hey, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. You're too. Thanks.
So most people know that Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate any holidays. They don't participate in them. But this has this very bizarre trickle-down effect where you become unsure of the protocol when someone says Merry Christmas to you. Oh, we're at the grocery store. Oh, Merry Christmas. And you sit there doing like a mental calculus in your bread. In your head. You become Isaac Newton trying to, create calculus inside your mind. Okay, so is participating in Christmas just saying Merry Christmas back to someone? Well, I surely wouldn't say Merry Christmas. Okay, that's off the table. But if they say Merry Christmas to me and I say, you too, well, then that could be seen as someone, okay, so I wouldn't want to say you too. I guess I could say thank you, but then that might imply that I'm thanking them for the Christmas spirit, which I don't want to thank them for. Maybe I'll just say, I hope you have a good day, and then I'll deflect. And so as they're doing all of this like mental roulette wheeling, their brain lands like in the middle between red and black, and they just blurt out some nonsense like, you're too welcome as well for thanks. And then you have to run away. It is such an awkward experience, and it happens every time around Christmas. I remember dreading just going to the grocery store because I'm like, what do I say when there are all this Christmas stuff? Now we're just going to get off on a little bit of a tangent, but then even Christmas songs and the music, those will get stuck in your head. You'll start whistling and humming them bad boys. It's piped right into your ear balls. So you're at the Kingdom Hall, you might catch yourself whistling. And if you catch yourself whistling the wrong tune, you might be seen as participating in Christmas. Even though objectively some of these aren't about Christmas, the baby Jesus and the frankincense and the myrrh, but it's about, snow and going. I don't listen to a whole lot of Christmas music, or at least pay attention enough to the words. But they're about like winter. It could be just about winter time in general, fireplace and snow and chocolate milk and all, or hot chocolate and all that good stuff. But no, if it has any type of association with Christmas, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. We can't do it. There is no room for any of that nonsense. And along the same lines as this one is another thing that they can't really say.
Thank you so much for coming. I really hope you enjoyed it. Did you have any questions or anything about the meeting? It was good. I don't think I have any questions. Okay, right on. Well, did you at least enjoy it? Yeah. I thought everything was pretty interesting. Was the person sitting next to me? Oh yeah, Sister Schwarzman. She kind of had a lot of perfume on, and so I found myself actually sneezing a lot. But I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much for coming. It was so good to meet you. Hopefully we'll see you again.
If you want to experience one of the coziest, most adorable moments of your life, no, it's not seeing a puppy or holding a newborn baby. You go and hang out with a group of former Jehovah's Witnesses that were never allowed to say, bless you, when someone sneezes. And someone finally sneezes and everyone gets all excited. It's like, did you just sneeze? Yeah, we get to say bless you. Woo! I got Winston a little excited here. No, they go crazy. It is the most adorable thing you will ever see. The just sheer joy and smile that I can finally be a normal human being and just say bless you when someone sneezes. It is like a breath of fresh air that they no longer have to participate in this ridiculous rule. Now, I'm not going to read a quote here. There's a ton of them. Just type in sneeze on their website and you'll come up with a bunch of different results that all talk about it being a superstition. People believed a little demon Jeff was going to leave your body, and so they'd say bless you, or your soul was going to leave your body. Sorry, demon, you got to keep demon Jeff out. I forgot. Anyway, neither here nor there. They think it's a superstition. Anything that has like a superstitious tie, they say no, you can't do it, even though they accept things like the exchanging of wedding rings and stuff like that. So they have some superstitions that they care about and others that they don't. This one just seems to be a strange one that makes them feel odd out there in the wild, having to participate in normal human interactions with regular everyday people. Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses don't want to be doing any of that, and they don't want to go too far out there and start their own cult compounds and never talk to anyone. So they have to make a few compromises along the way. Now, let us move on to number 1. This one is so strange and oddly specific, and if you've never been a Jehovah's Witness, you will have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, but if you have, you will immediately know the feeling of when an elder puts his arm on your shoulder.
What a blessing from Jehovah to have such a wonderful experience.
Yeah, hopefully it goes well. We'll come back next week, see what happens,
My brother, there is an important matter that several ones in the congregation have brought to my attention. May I speak to you about this?
Yeah, of course. Let me know what's going on.
Thank you.
I don't really like being touched though, but just kind of makes me uncomfortable.
I apologize. I meant no offense. So this matter has to do with your choices when it comes to dress and grooming.
Again, you don't have to.
I'm sorry. Sometimes even us elders who have served for many years get nervous and forget.
Of course.
But on to this matter. Several in the congregation have said they are disturbed by how tight-fitting some of your clothing is. And I am reminded of this scripture here in Ezekiel 17, verse 3, where it says, "You must say, this is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah has said, the great eagle with great wings."
Why are you doing this again?
I don't know.
This is such a ubiquitous thing. Even as a Jehovah's Witness, we would make fun of how often Watchtower videos or literature portrayed an elder, putting their arm on someone's shoulder, giving them encouragement with a hand on the shoulder. It's like if you were doing like a play or something, or a little skit at a convention or an assembly, you had to make sure you had that fine little detail. Circuit overseers would be looking for it. Well, you got to make sure, brother, you put your hand on the... It is just so common for them to give counsel about some stupid rule that you didn't follow, or some perceived flaw that you have that they're nitpicking just to grind your gears for no reason. But in order for it to be seen as this loving thing, you gotta put the hand on the shoulder. An oddly specific one to finish off this video, but I find it absolutely hilarious. Anyway, I'll probably make a part 2, so comment down below what are some of your favorite Jehovah's Witness actions or behaviors that you remember. I probably missed some even as I was recording this. I did think of a couple more. So yeah, we'll address this again. And I think I might even make a part 2 to the phrases, because y'all had some absolute heaters that I completely had forgotten about that absolutely deserved a spot on that list. So we'll have to do a revised list or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. It's getting late. A lot of green screening and skidding and editing today, so I'm a bit tired. Anyway, with all that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to spend more time loving the things you love than hating the things you hate. And you better have a good ass day.